Before I actually start, I need a couple of things from you guys. I need an iPhone 6 Plus. Does anyone have an iPhone 6 Plus? Can I borrow that? I will not damage it, I promise. You look very reluctant. Oh, he's Canadian, that's why. Thank you very much. And I also need a tissue. I didn't bring my own tissues, and I really need a tissue. Oh, okay, perfect. All right. Okay, with that, I can actually go in character and do this talk. I'm running Windows 2000. I've seen a lot of very startup sound. I've seen a lot of very amazing operating systems that look like they must be experimental Apple projects, but I'm running good old Windows 2000. All right. My name is Gary Bernhardt. I'm very happy to be here at DHTMLConf, and this talk is a survey of where we are, how we got here, where we might go, and how great everything is. This is the stock price of Apple over roughly the last year, from Q4 '99 until now. You can see there was a brief uptick, and then it has crashed to about 10% of its stock price about a year ago. Microsoft is a little bit better off. They're down to about half what they were a year ago. Simultaneously with this, I don't think it's a coincidence that this has happened in the same year that Linux has become very usable on the desktop. This is Enlightenment 16 running the brushed metal theme, probably the most widely used one. There are many others. This is a really cool theme. There are some that are just really strange, and if I zoom in, you can see there are super cool fonts in this Enlightenment theme. And I think what's... Diablo 2, actually. I don't know what Diablo 2 is, I'm sorry. I think what's happening here is that Linux on the desktop has finally become viable, and everyone is switching to it, and that is what is happening to Microsoft and Apple. And this is happening because no one wants proprietary operating systems. Everyone now, even our parents, understand that software freedom, freedom as in speech, is the most important thing about a software system. And regular people now care about this, which means the mainstream is switching. Now, you may have noticed that I'm running Windows 2000. There's a reason that I'm doing that, and that is that I could not get external displays to work. I am sure that external displays will be working any time in the near future because with many eyes, all bugs are shallow. You may recognize this guy. This is Bonsai Buddy. But before your parents switched to Linux on their desktops, you may have had to remove this from their machines, or you may have had to deal with a lot of toolbars on their machines. And of course, everyone knows pop-unders. You close your browser window, and there's another window under it with an ad in it. All of these are terrible scourges that we want to fight. We want to fight these invasive forms of advertising. Now, we are making some technical headway here. Mozilla now blocks pop-ups as of a few months ago, so that's a great start. But I think what's going to happen in the long term is that no one likes advertisements, right? Nobody chooses to see them. And we all know that the web is a free democratic meritocracy. And if it is true that the web gives the users of the web what they want, and no one wants ads, then it must also be true that the ads will die. And I think that's what's happening. I think that's what we're seeing with this pushback against pop-ups. Now, at this point in the talk, for some reason, I often get a nosebleed. And it's as if my body is rejecting something deeply contradictory in my mind, but there's nothing contradictory here, so I don't know what that would be. But I'm going to just preemptively take care of that for a moment, so I'll be right back. I'm sorry, this is very vulgar for me to do this, but oh, okay. I feel much better now. Now, this is the W3C's page for their markup languages, and I want to highlight part of it for you. The W3's work provides richer web pages on an ever-increasing range of browser platforms, including cell phones, televisions, cars, wallet-sized wallet communicators, or wallet-sized wireless communicators, kiosks, and desktops. When they say wallet-sized, I can't even say that. Wallet-sized wireless communicator, I think they mean something like a palm, right? This is actually a handspring visor, but it's a clone of a palm. This is not wireless, unfortunately, but in the near future, you can imagine these being wireless, and the web has to adapt to that. Or when they say a cell phone, they mean something like my brand new Nokia 8260. And this thing, it's a great phone. I recommend it. It's my first cell phone. It's really, it's weird to be connected all the time. This phone does not have web support, but things like this will soon be supporting web technologies. This is another part of the same page. They're talking about XHTML here, which is HTML as an XML schema. And they say the modular design of XHTML reflects the realization that a one-size-fits-all approach will no longer work in a world where browsers vary enormously in their capabilities. A browser and a cell phone can't, et cetera, et cetera. So the W3C knows that the technology is changing, that the devices are changing, and they're updating the standards to fit them. And I think that this is wonderful, a wonderful thing that's happening, that they know, they see the problems coming and are adapting to them in advance. There are many web standards, of course, not just XHTML. There's CSS, which is pretty widely used now. There's ECMAScript, which you probably haven't heard of, but this is, it's the standardized form of JavaScript. And it's really a wonderful story because Brendan only had 10 days to design the JavaScript programming language. And fortunately, thousands of people have dedicated hundreds of thousands of hours of their human finite lives to standardizing that language, not changing it, but just standardizing it and writing it all down and arguing about what the real semantics are, et cetera, et cetera. So that's wonderful. Moving on to our fourth and final topic before we merge all these together. This is a plot of the number of transistors in various CPUs over time. My first computer 4 years ago in '96 was a 486. You can see that Pentium 4 has far, far more transistors, and this has always been true. It just keeps going up and up. And I can't see any reason that this would stop happening in the near future or even the distant future. It seems like it just has to keep going and going and going and getting better and better. This, on the other hand, is the size of computers over time, and this is a logarithmic scale. So the first programmable general-purpose electronic computer was the ENIAC in '46. It was about, if you made it a cube, it would be 4 meters on a side. So that's a big cube. PDP-1 is about the size of a phone booth. IBM PC is maybe the size of this podium. An iBook, the new laptop from Apple, you've probably seen one of those. And then my 8260 is about 0.00001 square or cubic meters, as opposed to 64 cubic meters for an ENIAC. Now, I don't see any reason that this would stop happening. I mean, computers have to keep getting smaller, right? As time goes on, devices are only going to get smaller in the future. 15 years from now, this thing will be the size of a postage stamp, I imagine, and we'll just kind of unfold it and do our computering and then just kind of wrinkle it up and throw it in our pocket or something. So hardware always gets better. CPUs get faster and faster. I mean, we're going to be at 800 megahertz, then 1 gigahertz, then 2 gigahertz, then 4, then 8, then 16 gigahertz. It's never going to stop doubling at any time. Disks are going to keep getting bigger. You're going to have a 1 gig drive. 1 year later, 2 gigs, then 4, then 8, then 16 every single year, just like we always have. Devices are going to keep getting smaller. This phone will look comically large in 15 years, I'm sure. So we've talked about 4 topics. We have the rise of Linux on the desktop. We have the death of advertising. We have these increasing HTML standards like XHTML that are going to adapt to the future web needs, the future needs of web systems. And we have hardware getting smaller and smaller and faster and faster. And now I want to imagine what future all of these could combine to give us. Well, the devices, of course, are going to be smaller. I imagine something postage stamp size would be a really nice form factor. They're going to be running Linux, open source top to bottom, because why wouldn't they be? Open source is clearly better, as we all know. Browsing a web without ads and running some kind of applications that are using like very strict, correct markup, using very powerful static languages, maybe derived from Java, maybe even derived from JavaScript. Who knows? Maybe some other third thing that doesn't even exist yet. Now, why is my clicker not working? There we go. I'm now going to, I think my nosebleed is done, so I'm just going to, give me a second and I'll be right back. Jen, I'm just going to leave this over here. So things are getting better and better. Software is getting better and better all the time. And I want to just sort of summarize my message for you here. The way to the future is just to do more of the same. Just keep doing the same thing we've always done. x86, it's been great so far. You know, take it to a gigahertz, take it to 2, take it to 4, 8 gigahertz. Just keep making it faster and faster. HTML, I mean, it's been pretty great for the last 7 years. Just keep doing it, I guess, for a few decades. No need to change it even, really. XML a little bit. Even JavaScript, you know, everyone hates JavaScript. I mean, who here has ever written JavaScript on purpose? Like, there's the one man in the back corner. I respect you, sir. But no one chooses JavaScript. However, I think that if we really try, really hard, we might be able to, over the course of a decade or two, convince ourselves that we might actually like it a little bit. I'm optimistic that we can do that if we really want to. And most importantly, remember, everything always gets better. Nothing ever regresses. Everything just marches forward in a straight monotonic line towards perfection. Clippy suggested this. I'm not sure why. I think it might be the word future that got me this gift, but I'm not sure. To close out, I would like to thank. So that apostrophe really paid off. I would like to thank our platinum level sponsor, Excite at Home. I think they're going to be doing big things. It's the merger of two wonderful companies. I'd like to thank our organizer, Gen Schiffer, for putting this on and for inviting me to speak. And I'd like to thank Clippy for just suggesting all those great pictures. So thank you very much.